Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Grab your coffee. You're going to need it. And many snacks, okay? In this video, especially at the end, I hope you're sitting comfy. That's all I got to say. Okay? So let's start off with just sitting back, relaxing, and because in a few days 47 is going to show you how to run a country and be a real leader. Okay.
Well, do my eyes deceive me? So after 15 long months, Mr. 47 himself went and had some conversations. And now they're agreeing to have a ceasefire in Gaza between Israel and Hamas. And don't even start on me, because Joe has been the freaking president for the last 15 months and has not even tried to lift one daggum finger to have these conversations. He's been too freaking busy trying to funnel money over to Ukraine to keep them pockets lined, okay? So let this be a reminder of why we voted for a man who has a backbone and a freaking spine. This is why we voted for a man, because the last time he was the president, we didn't have any wars. There was peace, okay? I mean, I do find it kind of funny that in 5 short days, he'll become president, so they're wanting to go ahead and agree to this before he gets inaugurated. So you might want to go get your hot sauce. It might be a little bit easier to eat this crow with, okay?
Now, Representative Chuck Edwards has called on FEMA Director Criswell to resign in disgrace after dozens of families with small children were kicked out of hotels into the cold. Again, records indicate that the hotels in Western North Carolina did not receive notice of hotel voucher extensions with FEMA.
Call from a hotel owner today, a fellow that owns 4 hotels in Asheville, North Carolina. And he's got at least 80 folks in those 4 hotels that have told they have to be out today. And
so what happens? They call the hotel owner, and the owner gives them the bad news and goes door by door. How does that work?
Well, there's an online registration system, and the records that the folks from the hotels are receiving are often inconsistent with the direction that we're getting from FEMA, which really leaves folks in a lurch and not knowing where they're going to be sleeping tonight or the next night.
It is the very real scenario there in Asheville, North Carolina, the western part of the state, as now folks on the complete opposite side of the country in Southern California will be dealing with many of these issues and many of these questions going forward. Congressman Edwards, I talked to you now, I don't know, a handful of times probably in the last handful of months. Thanks for always coming on. We wish you and your community all the best. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
Now, LAFD, the union president, broke down in tears after warning this disaster was brewing. He warned that millions of dollars of equipment were just sitting around because they don't have nearly enough staff to manage it all. And just last month, fire personnel begged the city to rethink the budget cuts to LAFD.
At that commission meeting, you said, it's dire, someone will die.
It's eerie listening to your words because that's what occurred. So let me just take a minute, sorry.
Fire Captain Freddie Escobar.
You're not supposed to make me cry.
35-year veteran of the Los Angeles Fire Department wishes he'd been wrong, and this had not happened. For years, the LAFD union president warned that a disaster like the Palisades fire could happen. And while the cataclysmic weather conditions were historic, Escobar also blames something predictable that hurt the firefight: money.
This is a woefully understaffed fire department. We either going to have a fire department that's going to reflect 2025, or we're going to have a fire department that's going to reflect the 1960s.
A CNN analysis shows out of the 10 biggest cities in the nation, Los Angeles ranks 9th when it comes to the number of firefighters per resident. And it shows. Millions of dollars in rescue equipment is just sitting in a lot, unused, because the fire department can't afford to hire the mechanics to repair it. LA's fire chief said in a recent memo the fire department's staffing levels were half the size of what they should be.
If we cut one position, if we close one station, if we close one resource, the residents of Los Angeles are going to pay the ultimate sacrifice, and someone will die.
Just last month, fire personnel packed an LA Fire Commission meeting, begging the city to rethink the budget.
These cuts came at exactly the wrong time, with calls for services at an all-time high and our firefighters at their breaking point.
We are straining our department's resources beyond the brink, and we cannot continue on this path.
City Councilwoman Tracy Park was there, too.
There are large swaths of the city with no emergency response resources available.
Are we going to be having the same conversation next year and the year after?
We can't. We can't. I think that people are rightly upset, not only that this happened, but there is a sense that we as local leaders needed to do more for them. I feel like I let them down. And I've been screaming about it from the day I came in. And so I think there is an obligation of us to not let this be for nothing. I think this has to be the wake-up call.
Now, with this last video that I'm going to show you, I want to make sure that you are comfy. Okay? Put a pillow underneath the hiney if you have to. Okay? Get a refill on the cup of coffee. Make sure you got some Snickers. Because what I'm about to show you is the top Pentagon advisor. He has revealed a plot to protect people from 47. Well, let's just say he's been fired. And he is an advisor to the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He admits to participating in a huge meeting with military leaders to undermine 47 in this undercover video. So, relax, put your feet up, and enjoy the show. Ciao.
And I work at this top consulting firm, and my client is the Pentagon. So I'm embedded in the Pentagon. I work in the Joint Staff, which is the top military command. Once you lost, I went into the intelligence community and I became an FBI special agent. So I became a spy hunter. So I was a counterintelligence agent, special agent at the FBI.
What's your overall assessment of Trump?
He's a sociopathic narcissist. He's only interested in advancing his name, his wealth, and his fame.
Is there anything you can do to protect American people from stuff that he might try to do?
I'm in conversation with a couple of retired generals to try to explore what we can do.
Who were the The retired generals that you were going to talk to.
They're like 1, 2, or 3 star generals and admirals. You probably know maybe 4 stars. So I also have a big day tomorrow, probably the biggest day of all. So we have this huge meeting with military leaders in a very secure room called the tank.
Oh,
So we have a tank meeting with like all of the top leaders in the United States military tomorrow on my topic that I prepared.
so it went well.
I think it went well. Very sensitive information. We're gonna have to keep it between us. I specialize in artificial intelligence and emerging technologies like quantum, cybersecurity. Yeah.
What's quantum? I haven't heard of it.
Quantum is incredibly fast supercomputing that doesn't yet exist but will soon exist. And when it does, it will change everything.
Except.
Yeah.
Except. Who's that?
Secretary of Defense. He's cheated on all his wives, all his girlfriends. He's had some sexual assault allegations. He's an alcoholic. There's a lot of observations of him drinking. You're not a spy. You're not trying to like collect information from me. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Well, with me, literally with a former FBI agent. This person I met in college was Hillary Clinton. So I met her in college, and I worked for her since college. And then when she became Secretary of State, I followed her to the State Department, and that's how I worked there. Yeah. And then she almost won again, right? In 2016. When she lost, I went into the intelligence community and I became an FBI special agent because I was so upset. I was really angry. I wanted to catch Russian spies, Chinese spies.
Yeah.
They had really affected the outcome, I felt, in 2016. So I became a spy hunter. So I was a counterintelligence agent, special agent at the FBI. I work at this top consulting firm, and my client is the Pentagon. So I'm embedded in the Pentagon. I work in the Joint Staff, which is the top military command.
So your boss is the Joint Chief? Is that what you said?
Yeah, the
Did I say it right?
the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. I specialize in artificial intelligence and emerging technologies like quantum, cybersecurity. Yeah.
What's quantum? I haven't heard of it.
Quantum is incredibly fast supercomputing that doesn't yet exist but will soon exist. And when it does, it will change everything. So that's what I do. So I also have a big day tomorrow, probably the biggest day of all. So we have this huge meeting with military leaders in a very secure room called the tank.
Oh,
So we have a tank meeting with like all of the top leaders in the United States military tomorrow on my topic that I prepared.
are you serious?
So I have to go to that meeting, and I've
Wait,
waited.
I'm getting nervous for
I've
you.
waited 3 years. 3 years. Yeah, it's
No.
finally gonna happen. Yeah. So like the chairman of the Joint Chiefs is the #1 military officer for the United States.
Okay.
He's leading the meeting. The vice chairman, the director of the Joint Staff, every commander of all the commands, so European Command,
Oh.
African Command, Northern Command, Southern Command, Pacific Command, Cyber Command, Strategic Command, and Transportation. Oh, and then Special Forces.
Wow.
Yeah, and then Space Command. So they'll all be there. The chiefs of the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Space Force, and then OSD policy. So that's we're going to talk about AI.
So what are your talking points going to be?
That that this is a very serious subject. We need to take it seriously. We need to overcome a lot of bureaucratic obstacles. We need to work better with partners, international partners. We need to, think creatively to avoid overclassification, which really prohibits the ability to share information across very quickly. Everyone has a habit in the intelligence world to overclassify something because they don't want to get in trouble. So once you label it top secret, no one's going to see it.
Oh.
And we have to share this with another country because we need to fight together. And you can't fight together with this kind of inability to share
Yeah.
war fighting information.
Hegseth.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hegseth. Who's that?
He is a Fox News TV correspondent on Saturday.
So, what is he going to do in the government?
Great question.
What's his job going to be?
Secretary of Defense. It's possible he'll make it in. Yeah, it's possible. He also has a drinking problem. He's also cheated. He's been married 3 times.
Oh, no.
He's cheated on all of his wives, all of his girlfriends. He's had some sexual assault allegations.
What?
Yep. This is all in the news. Yeah. He's an alcoholic. There's a lot of observations of him drinking.
What's your overall assessment of Trump? Like if you were to do a broad take on him.
He's a sociopathic narcissist who is only interested in advancing his name, his wealth, and his fame. He's had a lifetime of cheating. He's habitually addicted to lying about himself to advance his personal interests. And I question his loyalty to anyone but himself.
What does it look like for you, moving forward and he's the president? Does that impede what you do? Are you concerned about what's going to happen with that?
So far, I'll be fine, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little worried. But I'll be, for now, fine.
Is there anything you can do to I don't know, protect American people from stuff that he might try to do?
I can't do anything other than my job, which is, protecting American interests on artificial intelligence. Outside of that, I'm in conversation with a couple of retired generals to try to explore what we can do. I have a meeting, in fact, tomorrow about it.
Really?
Got me opening up myself to you already. Telling you things I wouldn't normally tell.
So it went well. Were there
I think it went well. People are sensitive information. We're going to have to keep it between us. And then you're going to go blog it.
I threw away the key.
Guess what this guy told me? So that we overclassify, and I think I may have said this too during therapy, that we overclassify information. So when we overclassify information, it doesn't allow us to actually, communicate effectively when we're actually trying to implement some sort of operation, right? So if we're playing a team sport and we're both representing a part of the field, right? And we both have different pieces of information as to how we're going to do our job to play the game and win. But we're not coordinating because we don't tell each other we need to know information. And then the second one was, the enemy is, we're not the only ones using science. So the enemy is using science too. You're not a spy. You're not trying to collect information from me. I'm kidding. That'd be cool. Well, with me, literally with a former FBI agent, so you're gonna be safe.
The retired generals that you were going to talk to.
There's many of them, but this rear admiral, I know there is a major general in the Army. So those are the two that I talk to the most. But yeah, I talked to quite a few. In a whole, no, they're like 1, 2, or 3 star generals and admirals. You probably know maybe 4 stars.
Isn't there one named Millie? Is that Dave's?
Yeah. He was my former boss. He doesn't know me. And he'll probably not be involved in something like this. But yeah, he's around.
Yeah?
Yeah, Billy's around. I will also confess to you that over the last most of the year, since the spring, I was working with just retired generals, retired ambassadors, in this organization, this nonprofit called National Security Leaders for America. And what we were doing was we were trying to explain to the American people national security consequences of another Trump presidency. And I'm usually reluctant to kind of lead with this or explain this because I don't want to sound too political. But this organization tried to defeat Donald Trump. We tried to engage the American public. We, conducted hundreds of interviews. I myself wrote and published 110, 120 op-eds in newspapers across the country. Did a lot of writing, the most writing I've done in my life. And I would write not in my name, but I would be a ghostwriter. I would let the other general, put their name on it. So some articles landed in some pretty big papers, the Wall Street Journal, the National Journal. So I was literally working day and night, nonstop. So when he won, I was really, frankly, depressed. I was really sad, really depressed. Not only in terms of the mission failure, but of course, I was hoping to advance my career. Had she won, I would have gotten a really big job. I predict Trump had probably entertained publicly the idea of staying in office or changing the laws to stay in office, which he's not allowed to do.
Yeah, that's crazy.
By Constitution. But he'll probably suggest it. And there'll probably be an effort to try.
Yeah.
There'll be pressure and anger, and then Republicans he'll try to then probably anoint a leader to maintain his and his ability to not go to jail.
Oh.
Because he doesn't want to go to jail.
Right.
That's all that matters.